Good evening, November Foxtrot.
Hello.
Hi, Carl, Paulus Wales, Phil Dunn, Kenny Rebel, Marky Mark.
Eager beavers today. Eager beavers.
Very eager. Very eager. I will share with you an amusing thing. So we use a product called StreamYard to do this podcast. Little
to show
behind
us
the curtain
to the world.
It came up with a notification earlier that I have. So I kind of run the admin side of that bit, and
all of it.
You have to sync. You have to sync the StreamYard software to Facebook and YouTube to allow it to do the live streams. And it came up with a notification that I have 27,448 days before StreamYard loses access to our YouTube account. And I worked that out. That's 75 years I have to worry about.
All right,
reconnecting that. So I'm not going to.
Oh no, the shock, the horror.
Yes. Yeah, I'll probably wait until 70 years' time before I worry about that.
So in 75 years, guys, we might drop off YouTube.
I mean, I'll probably be dead. 75 years is a very long time.
Oh yeah, that's probably my lifespan.
So yeah, that made me chuckle. But how are you, Andy? How has your week been?
Oh, it's amazing. I have been still at Blackstone, just wearing my body down slowly. So
the grand opening's this weekend?
It is this weekend, yes.
How's that going?
Oh, well, yeah. I'd prefer it not to be. Let's put it that way. We built a church and I have been praying in it today, I'll tell you.
Is there genuinely a lot left to do, or is it a wish list in terms of what needs doing?
So there's obviously like priorities. Like all the doors are going to be on, all the windows are now done, props and things, and basically just getting it tidy. It's all decorated now, so it looks proper. It looks totally different to what it was before. But yeah, getting there slowly.
Yeah, cool.
And sneaky peek for everyone, JBG are going to be there all weekend with a stall.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ah,
so I'll be even more broke.
Yeah. A little bit gutted that I won't be there to say hello. But
you can the shopper and stuff's opened on the Sunday. You don't have to go up to play the games. You can come.
It's a very long way for me to go up just to say hello.
It's not just you.
To you on here.
There's many other listeners.
Yes. No, of course. It's
that was always about you.
No, I know. I'm really sorry.
It's too far.
I'm really sorry. If you're interested in attending the Huntington, just to pop along, say hello, show some support.
Yes, then you can.
Jump on the Riff website and the address is all on there.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yes, and also just for anyone interested, watch last week's episode. And the missus has confirmed that the JBG coffee is, in her eyes, this is very, very pleasant.
Oh, that's good.
So that is a raving review from the missus, who is very picky with her coffees. So get yourself some JBG coffee, guys and girls, and in-betweens.
If you drink coffee, get yourself some coffee.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for him to bring out the tea bags. JBG tea bag.
I've been trying. I can't work out how we do this because I thought it'd be hilarious to have a NoFo tea bag, which we just call tea bagging. And if anyone knows how to do this, please let us know because I really want to do this.
Here you go. Here's a good, interesting fact. There is actually no laws against buying a product, taking it out of the packaging, and then reselling it, as long as you put credit to what it's from. So we could literally go out, buy bags of PG tips, put them in our own box, and then as long as we put contains PG tips somewhere on the box, we've got our own
I feel I'm not suggesting that that's not a law, right? I'm not saying that that's not true. I still feel there would be a lawsuit somehow. I feel that we couldn't just go and buy a load of iPhones and be like, the new November Foxtrot phone contains 100% iPhone.
Yeah, but no, technically that's what I've been told anyway. So from
No fair.
all sources.
Yeah, no fair. Paulus Wales has spotted the AK behind me. Proper replica in it. Yes, it's just really far away.
It's a real one.
I've got such a big house now that I just can't reach. Oh, oh, it's so far away. Ignore the light switch. That's a big light switch. And all the rest of the things around there are massive. It's just the AK's so far away. Yeah, it'd have to be Yorkshire tea, by the way, not PG tips. I agree with you, Pegasus, on that. Do you like a Yorkshire tea?
I mean, they're herbal teas. You can make your own herbal tea.
There are so many different names that immediately jumped into my head that we could call our herbal tea, and I don't think that we would be allowed to sell them. Yeah, if it genuinely, I would love to bring out a NoFo range of tea, even just like one batch. I think it would be funny as fuck. I'm still looking into that. I've got that, the schmags, whatever they're called. All the t-shirts.
Schmegs.
Lance wants a tea towel. What did you want? You wanted pants or something, didn't you?
No, I wanted like a chef's apron, like a barbecue.
Oh yeah, the apron. And then I wanted a onesie. I thought a onesie would be quite good. Multicam. I really want to find the fox camo. I know this is completely off topic. I want to get the fox camo in an actual fabric that we can use to make things.
Right.
Because then we can have fox camo t-shirts.
Fox camo Gen 3 Cry trousers.
Contains 100% cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Although talking about trousers,
sorry, go on.
I got in contact with someone who's making me some tiger stripe. Oh, why have I gone all blurry?
It's because you did the head thing.
What that? It's gone back to normal now. Yes, I got in contact with Roman. I got in contact with Roman from Ukraine, and he's making me some short fat man trousers, basically, in a camo that I want, because no one does short fat man in tiger stripe.
You know why?
Because short fat men don't normally need to wear tiger stripe.
Because it's not a popular camouflage.
Exactly. That's why I want to be different.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I'll let you have that one. Right, so we're obviously talking about organisation tonight, stash, store, and so much more. I completely forgot what we were talking about.
How ironic is that?
Really yeah, I know.
Kit organisation, not organisation in general.
Before we get to this very exciting subject, there's a couple comments come in. So Les has said he's at OpMac Delta this weekend. So best of luck to you, mate. Yep. And anyone else that's going, you are going to have a cracking time.
Yes, you are.
Please do let us know how it goes. Marky Mark's waiting for JBG to drop ticket prices for their event at Blackstone. So give them a prod, Andy.
It's all got nothing to do with me. That's between Charlie and Tony. I don't know.
Stephen Whitehead, it says, is that an AK for ants? So Andy actually got this for me. I'm very chuffed with it. Thank you ever so much, mate. I love it. Because I just wanted to look like Andy, basically. He's just nice wall. Yeah. I assume I still can't touch it because it's vaguely weapon-like. I don't know.
Oh, could you imagine? We get a community strike because he picked up this. It's a toy.
Paulus Wales, isn't Typhoon going into administration? Isn't there scope for you to intervene? You just buy a tea company. That'll be
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got no money.
Sponsored by Typhoon.
Yeah.
And Drew has sent us a link via Instagram on how to get our own tea brand. So I will check that out later today.
I knew Drew would know. He was
Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be on it. Lance should be able to fund the tea bags. Now he's gone full-time with OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lance is going to be taking a bit of a leave of absence from the show. Basically, I think it's just a balance of work commitments at the moment. It's taking a bit of a toll. So he'll be missed muchly. We will see him hopefully in the not too distant future. But yeah, if you want to drop Lance a message to say hi or just catch up, then please feel free to do so. He's obviously still very much a part of NoFo and everything like that. He's just taking a break for a little bit, which for the sake of mental well-being and all of that, I think we can all get on board with. Sometimes we need to just put the brakes on things. So either that or he's just doing OnlyFans full time.
Yeah, I'd pay for that, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, he does like
it's just him talking. It's not even like nudity. It's just him like doing his foot care stuff and sitting in the woods. So cool. Right. Yes. Let's chat about. Oh no! Sorry, one more thing. I bought some body armor.
Oh yeah, real body armor.
Yeah. So this is Aegis level 3 plates from Prepper Shop. They have these currently on sale. They're not all Aegis. I think they've got sort of 2 or 3 different brands. They're all ex-police surplus. I'm genuinely surprised about the good quality and condition of these. Like, it's right. To clarify, I know I'm not going to get shot at. If I was going to get shot at, I probably wouldn't buy secondhand body armor. All right, this is kind of.
I mean, it's better. Secondhand body armor is better than no body armor. Yes,
true. But I'm not anticipating getting shot at. What I was interested in is because I have been running the Wolverson Fitness training plates. So these are the 2.5 kg ones with a foam insert that comes with the Warrior DCS. So that's effectively how I've been running them. I was put a poll on my Instagram out in the last week or so because I was sort of debating between the two. This is actually a lot lighter. So level 3 protection weighs in about 1.2 kg. Mm-hmm. So I have got the two, so the front and back. But I am going to be playing around with swapping out maybe the front with real steel and the back, the training plates maybe, and sort of doubling up on the training plates at the back. Which I'm worried will lopside the vest. I might play around with sort of doubling up the training plate with this, or I might just run this and put the training plate in a different plate carrier depending on the weather or something like that. Just sort of a little bit of science with it. But we shall wait and see. But it's very exciting. I won't lie, when that came through the post from Preppers, I was like, ooh, get a little tingle. So, cool. Right. So we are going to talk about storing our kits. So in the first part of the show, we are obviously talking about the different environments that we're going to be storing these things in. So
not the fridge.
Warm houses, dry, convenient, ideal. Do you want to cover warm houses, Andy?
Yeah.
Because there's obviously issues with, there's pros and cons with everything. Obviously, it's going to be better if you can keep them in a warm, relatively dry environment. But we're going to be talking about the issues and the challenges that come with that. I'll stop talking now. You go ahead.
So I was going to say, you went, go ahead, Andrew, and then I was like, okay, and then you carried on.
I'm sorry.
Wait for Mike. So obviously it's always preferable to store your kit in indoors in the house. Obviously it's understandable that some people don't have the room or the capacity to store that amount of kit. But if you are going to put it in like a warm house, obviously if you've had a wet weekend or a damp weekend, make sure that everything is dry before putting it away, because putting away cold wet clothes and cold wet tents in somewhere that's nice and warm will encourage mold, as Mike and I think most of us have found out at some point during our airsoft careers that warm humidity, like warm areas with humidity, does not work or bode well for fabrics of most kinds.
Well, the thing I found was we obviously all take like trunks and things to different events, and sometimes just at the end of the event, you take all your stuff
Mhm.
off, your boonie hat, whatever you're wearing, chuck it in the trunk, and then I forget about it because it's in the trunk. I've just taken the trunk out. That's now back in the store.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, that was wet. And then you get it out, and it's like, you know, furry when it wasn't meant to be furry.
Yeah.
So
It was not furry when I put it away.
no. Now to combat that, so it's not always easy to dry everything else or dry everything out. So obviously you can't leave stuff out and about. You can get the little dehumidifier packs, so like they're filled with the desiccant. A little key tip that I've picked up over the years is whenever you buy shoes or, you know, anything that comes with the little packs of silica gel, just put them one side in a little bag. And then when you get like a box or anything like that, just like sprinkle a few in the box, because it just helps take some of that excess moisture and humidity out of your storage. Obviously, if you leave something that's gipping wet in your box, it's not going to cope with that.
Yeah,
right?
that little packet is going to be like, no, I'm done. No, to be fair, you get them in most things now. Like, like most kit now. Like if you buy kit brand new, most of that comes with one of the little silica packets in now. And I've literally got a drawer full of them. I tend to keep them with on sites where you have to go and bio BBs. Just fold one up, throw it in the bottle, and that works rather well. And with my batteries, I put one in with my batteries just in case they start, because obviously, you know, because that's another thing as well. If you use an AEG and it gets warm and you take it out and you throw it into something and seal it, you're going to get, and the outside temperature's cold, that's going to start causing condensation within that holder. And obviously electrics and moisture are never a good combination, so you don't want like all your connections and things. So it's just bearing in mind that sometimes, although you've put it away, the condition that you've put it away in can affect how it's going to react with moisture and things. Yeah, basically just in the atmosphere. And vaping,
let's be honest,
is very bad. And no, seriously, like that gun, that one, I took it apart a couple of days ago, and I vape in this room quite a lot. Like when I'm doing my model painting, when I'm talking to you guys, when I'm playing on the computer and things like that. I can hotbox this room quite quickly, and I found that the vape juice was sticking to the grease.
Ah, nice.
So it was like sort of a weird slime. So then I had to strip it all down and clear it and everything. So now I try not to vape as much. I'll still vape in here, but just bear in mind, if you are a vaping person, like you're putting
smoking or anything like that in the same vein, I assume. So yeah.
But that's something I didn't know.
Never considered that.
Yeah. Oh, I never thought about it until recently when I went to give that a clean. Because it had a bit of dust on it, so I thought, oh no, I can't have it getting dusty.
Yeah, just slime.
Yeah. And then all on the outside was like, because it sticks to the inside of your car window, and then it's obviously stuck to that and stuck to the grease and everything. And I'm like, brilliant. That's probably why my computer's so naffed as well, because I'm just blowing it into the vents and just new water cool.
Yeah, or you could give up vaping or try to.
Well, not at the moment. I think I need nicotine. I'm sorry to say.
With the little silica packets, just bear in mind, because obviously silica's not the nicest of stuff. Obviously, don't swallow it, but keeping them to one side is obviously better than just throwing them away, because like the number of these things that just get bobbed in the bin, and shoe stores and stuff like that must be prolific with these, because I would imagine they've got all sorts. They must be binning them fairly regularly. So yeah, if you can't get hold of any, it might be worth even popping down a shoe shop and being like, have you got any spare? But you can buy them on eBay, Amazon, all like that. You can get various packets.
Yeah.
They sell even like the bigger boxes for like caravans and putting in your cars and stuff like that to sort of try and suck out some of the moisture. And you could even go so far as to actually, if you've got a proper dehumidifier, like a portable air conditioning unit, basically type thing, you can use those. Put that in with your kit. Obviously not in the box, but in the room that it's being stored in to sort of dry it out. So that would help. Phil says, don't leave sweaty gear in a black box in a tropical climate for 2 weeks. That sounds like a man that's learnt.
Yeah. I feel like that's just a life lesson there, isn't it?
Yeah. You'll learn it for a while, and then it will come back at some point because you'll forget.
Yeah.
It'll just be and then you'll be like, oh, I learned that last time. I know I've had to relearn.
I've got to admit, the worst one I ever did, and it was recently as well, was I'd taken a sock off after an event in my sleeping bag, and I thought I'd lost the sock. Oh no, I found the sock. It was in the bottom of the sleeping bag. I was like, well, that's going to get it for a breeze. And that sock's going in the bin.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's like, because it was a wet event. I've taken my socks off. I've put them into the bottom of the sleeping bag to obviously try and dry them up. Found one, thought I'd lost the other one, so I put a new pair on. And then, like, probably about 2-3 months later, I got the sleeping bag back out, and I was like, "Oh, that's not pleasant."
Landnav Challenge says with the desiccant packs, you can pop them in the microwave for a minute to refresh them. It's interesting to do that. Kenny puts them in with pyro. I do exactly the same.
Yes.
Always conscious of damp pyro. There's nothing worse than paying money for something that, if it gets a little bit wet, it just doesn't work.
You don't want to. You don't want a moist Mark V. You just don't. You just don't want it.
It doesn't go bang. It just goes.
Yeah.
Drew says practice your wet dry routine with clothing.
But
Pegasus
don't leave it in
your
sleeping bag.
No. And Pegasus says, so what you're saying, Andy, is I should bring my tools and grease this weekend to fix your ribs.
No, because I am an adult now and I can do it by myself. I got my.
I'm a big boy.
I'm a big boy now because I have gone over to gas.
Another thing
if it's
to consider
electric,
is
I'll be like that. Don't know.
No, AEGs aren't too hard. There's just
take
lots of
apart.
things that pop out. Yeah, it's just springs and stuff. That's the problem. You just get bits. Just
there's like 2 springs in this. Job done.
Yeah. Oh, I've had a bad flashback as to when I first took a rifle apart. I did it in the living room whilst I was watching TV. I wasn't really paying attention, and it was a classic boing. It's like, never putting that back together again. Anyway, go back to keeping stuff indoors.
We
bear in mind as well heat exposure. So radiators, windows. Windows are really good for bleaching stuff. So if you leave stuff in obviously open sunlight for a long time, if you ever left anything in, like a greenhouse or anything like that, sunlight bleaches things over time. Bear in mind with your loadouts, like plate carriers or anything like that, it can have a pretty damaging effect on the fabrics and obviously cause issues there. So bear that in mind. But storage bins basically, and I was gonna just bring up some photos quickly to give examples. So
he says quickly.
No, it's quickly,
but
just took a little while. This is Mark's. This is Marky Mark. He sent a photo in via Instagram. So if anybody ever wants to do this, please feel free to do so. And he said that he keeps bags and burgers and the like in the base. It's a bottom shelf. The next shelf is sleeping shelter equipment. The next one is admin stuff, food, cooking, and such the like. And then the clothing, very top is base layers, thermals, and waterproofs. And then when he packs, always starts from the bottom and works his way up depending on the event or weather conditions.
Yep.
So, pretty nifty way of storing your kit there and a bit of organisation. And I took a quick picture of mine at the moment. This is in my garage. I haven't yet had a chance to kind of properly set everything up, but this is exactly the same sort of system that I try and propose.
That's a bit neat.
I use IKEA boxes, basically because they come in a variety of different sizes. You can't really make it out on there, but they are labelled. So eye protection, batteries. The only thing I've got to get a little bit better with is batteries in a cold environment. which we'll come on to in a little bit. But these sorts of shells and things.
I mean,
if you're interested,
I hope
get
those batteries are
in
in a fireproof bag as well, mate.
They are actually.
Hey.
By the way,
learn, children.
Yeah, I've just actually filled the box with water because I thought, well, that's fireproof. That'd be fine.
Thermalite or asbestos.
Yeah.
I just packed it full of asbestos.
Yeah. Just give it a quick lick and stick the asbestos in. It's fine. Sticks to the battery. No problem. Oh, please don't anybody do that and then tell them that it was our idea.
Yeah, don't lick asbestos, children.
Yeah, Terry says, I wish I could have my kit that tidy, but I have too much kit. That is not all of my kit. Mm-hmm. That is just the stuff I have currently found.
Yes.
So yeah, on the way out from my garage, I found my 40mm mortar on the other side, stuck with a power saw and a ladder. So I'm not quite sure what the movers thought it was when they grabbed that. But, yeah.
Surprise.
All right, let's talk about outdoor and cold storage areas. So this covers things like garages, sheds, and lockups. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the risks to consider are things like rust on metal parts from condensation, fabric mold, mildew, damp in cold spaces, and then temperature extremes. So that can cause rubber and the like to basically perish over time, and it can help or assist in weakening plastics. So, Andy, other than obviously desiccant packs, because I think that's pretty much a standard in most storage stuff, can you think of anything else that would assist in kind of avoiding some of those problems?
Outside is good ventilation. You want a nice controlled breeze to go through your kit. So you can buy vents. So if you know that you're, say for example, you're in a shed, you've got a shed and it's over summer, and it's just going to keep building up temperature in there. Have like some vents, have one down low and one up high, so it draws the air in and then the hot air will come out through the top, and it should give you a nice consistent breeze through it. The only other thing is sometimes, especially with rifts and things like that, like you said, it can affect the rubbers. I personally would always recommend trying to keep your rifts indoors, because they've got some have wood, so most of them have metal, they've definitely got plastic, they've all got rubbers in them. You've got springs. If you've got a cheaper spring in there, you can get rust build up on the springs. Kit, for me, kit, like wearable kit, isn't too bad because you can wash that. If it starts smelling a bit funny, you can wash it. Whereas if you start getting rust or corrosion or any sort of damage to your rifts, you're physically having to buy something new at that point. So for me personally, I would always keep my rifts indoors. Plus, it's a security thing as well. And the kit I would keep outside, and then if I needed it for a weekend, I'd probably take it out the week before, give it a good aerate. Febreze should be part of every airsofter's kit list, in my opinion. Also, what my mum told me was,
I thought you were going to say what she does when she goes airsoft.
No. So she used to do. So when I used to keep stuff at my mum and dad's house, she used to get like an orange and poke it with stabby scented stuff. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. Cloves or something, maybe. And used to hang that up in there, and apparently that keeps away moths and insects. But also gives your clothes a orangey, zesty smell, apparently. So that's an old wives' trick.
Yeah. Or an old mum's trick in this instance.
Or old mums, yeah. Although I think if I called it old to her face, I'm not
going to call your mum old. I just meant
But yeah, like that is it's little things like that as well. The other one that I've recently discovered, because we bought it for our house, was this. They do sheets now that you can hang up, so it's got like a hook, and so it goes over your coat hanger, and you poke it down inside whatever bit of clothing you is and hang it up normally, and it like releases like antibiotics, anti-detergent stuff into the clothes, so that helps as well, like keeping things fresh and not smelling like rot. They're really good. I'll see if I can get the link. If anyone's interested, drop me a message.
So what you need is some Milsim surplus smelling versions of those.
Yes.
Really, because we all love that grotty like surplus smell, but at the same time we don't really want it on everything, not necessarily.
No. like you should.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too much for a weekend.
I was doing some sanding because I'm doing decorating my bedroom at the moment, and had a dust mask on and sneezed into the dust mask. And I was like, oh no, I've got another one of these to put on. I had to wear that dust mask for 2 hours, and it was horrible. So yeah.
That's one as well. That's one that I found. If I'm wearing like because I run one of the Delta mic ones, one of the Mark 1 ones, where it's got the padding, and if I'm breathing through it or talking through it a lot, or if it's a hot event, I'm terrible for just taking it off and throwing it in my kit and just leaving it in there, and then you go, oh yeah, I've got a game next week, and then you take it out at game day and you put it on and you go, oh, that's not, I don't think I should have that on my face. Also,
I'm getting portobello mushroom flavor.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I highly recommend not doing, because before I had my protective beard, one game day it was a very bad smell on my snood. I no longer have that one, and I sprayed it with Febreze and just left it. But I thought in my head, oh, if I just soak it in Febreze, that'll be fine. And I ended up putting it on, and I ended up getting a rash where the Febreze and my sweat had mixed and just caused this chemical reaction. So I went into work for like 2-3 days with this square rash around my mouth. I was like, this does not look great. I was like, so yeah, be careful. Read the instructions of any chemicals that you may use.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. One would have thought that might have been a common sense point, but hey ho.
Well, I didn't. I just thought it was just the smell.
I guess sometimes you just have to learn by doing, don't you? I mean, that's the ultimate thing.
Yeah, but that's why we're here, to give our expertise.
Paulus Whale says Febreze doesn't clean stuff. It just sounds like Andy got herpes off his kit.
Oh no, I'm just a carrier of herpes. No, it was. I went and actually saw a dermatologist, and they were like, "No, it's a chemical reaction to you spraying Febreze on something that you had on your face for 12 hours." I was like, "Yeah, makes sense."
Kevin Ernst says, "All right, lads, loving the show. Love an old mum's trick. Just pee on your gear like real men."
Yeah. I mean, it's been done.
I smell like victory and piss. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. What else? I was going to mention something else. I forgot what it was now. Sorry. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, and in terms of keeping stuff outside, this is obviously going to be specific for gas canisters and but just be careful in things like sheds and stuff like that. Hot cars. We've all seen the stories of gas mags exploding. I think, when was it? I was with you when we had that. Was it? No, it was NAE. Someone's gas mag exploded. We took a picture. Compressed gases or anything like that don't really cope well with particularly warm temperatures, and that's the same for the indoor as well. Obviously just treat your gear appropriately for the right conditions.
Yeah, we've had Rift We've literally, or like on the hot days of the year, they've come back from a game day and all of their windows are blown out where a full propane tank has gone off in their car. And you think, yeah, okay. So just take it out and put it underneath the car. Like the shade from the car should keep it cool enough for it to not go off. But if it goes off, it's under the car. It's not inside in basically a pressurized vessel at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to do, isn't it? It's just, just chuck an extra canister in the car and then it rolls off and sort of falls under the seat or something like that. And then it's sitting in like 40 degree temperatures in some instances in the car. And then it's not surprising when these things go off. So, not ideal. Right, let's talk about organizational systems. So, obviously, we talked kind of about shelving systems. You can get metal shelving like we've shown in the pictures earlier. If anyone's interested, they are available in Screwfix. I think they're like £60 for 3, maybe something like that. It's proper metal shelving, so it's rated for quite high loads because obviously if you've got big storage boxes and things like that, these things can get quite heavy. Just bear in mind that, you know, I'll never forget, I went to buy a PAX wardrobe from IKEA when I had the one in my old house. Well, I can't remember if anyone remembers the one behind me. And it had like we had to buy the shallow wardrobes, which have the bar that runs across the back of the wardrobe, and then it has like a post that comes out. And then you hang your clothes effectively sideways in the wardrobe. And I spoke to the IKEA person. I was like, so what's the kind of the weight loading that these things will take? Because I want to hang some quite heavy stuff on it. And she's like, well, what are you thinking of hanging on it? I was like, well, plate carriers, other tactical gear. And the look that she gave me, I'll never forget. It was so funny. So yeah, if you want to freak anyone out in IKEA, just go and ask how you can store really random. Like, I've got 5 field telephones. Where do I put those?
I've got an RPG and I want to hang it.
Will this support the weight of body armor and 8 helmets? That's always fun. There's also things like pegboards. So sticking with IKEA for the moment, IKEA do the pegboard, which I can't for the life of me remember what the name is. So you can have like the nice fancy, I mean, it's effectively what Andy's got behind him there, albeit without, you haven't got the pegboard, you've just effectively got pegs in fixed locations, whereas a pegboard obviously gives you the ability that you can adapt them and move things about. Similar to what shops and things have, isn't it?
Mine are good guitar hooks that you can get off of Amazon. You get a pack of 2 for like £3. It's nothing. I did have one here. Oh well, lost it. Can't find them. But they
the pegboard from IKEA is a Skadist, I think it's pronounced. Something like that.
So literally it just, you can set it up how you want. Job done, screwed into the wall. It's padded. I put because they clamp down on themselves when you put weight on them. I like to, on one of them, I'll always have the I've forgotten the word.
Hand grip.
So when it goes in there, when the weight goes on it, it clamps it and it stops it from rocking. 2 of these will hold up my M249, which is 21 kilograms.
That's cool.
So they're quite durable. I'm very impressed with them.
Without turning this into a DIY channel, obviously, if you are going to mount anything on a wall that is heavy, please bear in mind what types of wall and things that you have. Plasterboard is a very different product than brick and blocks and things like that. So just make sure that you're using sort of an appropriate fixing.
Check for cables and pipes.
Yes, and stud work that's made of metal, because it turns out that some of the ones are in my house. Yes. But just obviously, if you're gonna mount anything, just be careful about, you know, even things like wardrobes and stuff like that. If you decide that you're going to go down the route of having like an airsoft wardrobe or the metal shelving or anything like that, consider kind of mounting it to the wall at the back, especially if you've got sort of kids or anything like that, animals, pets, things, anything that can kind of potentially sort of scrabble up, unbalance that shelf and pull that over.
And also, as well, if we get an earthquake.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
see, it could happen.
It could happen. Yes.
I'm just saying.
No, that's fair.
No, because also as well, don't forget we have international listeners.
We do.
Some of them,
if you are living in an earthquake zone, consider securing your cupboards to the wall in case of earthquakes.
Which you should already know if you live in an earthquake zone. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do about hurricanes, though. I mean,
you have to screw them to the floor. Don't worry about the shell, the walls. That's the floor. So one of the things I want to talk about with plate carrier storage. Have you guys ever used? I say guys. Have you ever used, Andy, the tough hooks,
nope.
like the plate carrier hooks? So I highly recommend those. Like
I built my own.
Oh, have you?
Yes. Basically,
I don't mean the stand. I mean like the carrying handle.
Oh no, I just throw it into the back of the car.
Okay, no, that's fair. All right, you talk about the stand that you've made. I will quickly bring up the carrying hook.
Yeah, mine was literally. I went on eBay and I got old cast iron pipe fittings. So they were threaded both ends. And I got a cast iron wall plate made up and kind of screwed them all together with PTFE tape, and I've had that on the wall. That's with my kit on it, the helmet on it and everything. I'll post a picture up on our socials of it. But yeah, it like that cost me 25 quid off eBay for all the individual bits, and it's quite fun just putting it together. And then it like, obviously I'm quite lucky because I've got the command center, the man den, so I can have things up. I can have things on show, have them up on the wall. Although in the summer when I open the curtains, my neighbours must think I'm an absolute lunatic because they can see everything through the window. But yeah, like there's loads of ways around it. You can make it out of 3x2, or if you really wanted to go for it, 4x2, and have like one of the proper little stands. You can actually get the schematics and how to cut and where to cut for them online. There's loads of them out there of different designs, like the cross shape. Someone did one recently which looked really cool, which was it was basically two bent bits of wood that he bent at the same time, got them soaking wet, and you leave them out and you let them dry, and then he screwed them together. That looked pretty cool. There's loads of different designs out there that you can find and do it yourself at a reasonably good cost. Like you can build most of them out of one length of 3x2, which is about £3 now, £3.90. And if you've got any skill with a handsaw and know how to do it and use the tape measure, you can have yours built in half a day. So there are options out there.
Quite fancy stuff done with like scaffold pipe and or threaded pipe and stuff like that, which looks always like quite industrial and quite nice.
Yeah, that's what I've done mine out of.
So this is designed as a body armor coat hanger. You'll notice that it's kind of flanged on the ends, and then it's actually reversible, so you can put it in this configuration. So it's just got the hook on the top. So if you want to hang a plate carrier in a wardrobe or anything like that, or hang it on a hook, or if you want to carry it around, you can actually flip the hanger over and it gives you a carry handle. Now, £12.65. Not a terrible price, but I have just managed to find them on AliExpress for £7.60.
Good old AliExpress.
Yeah, so shop about because you can get them cheaper. But they're quite good. I mean, ultimately, it's a big old lump of plastic. Not the most environmentally friendly, but they do work. With how plate carriers work and how coat hangers are not designed for the weight of which they are loaded. These are quite good little products, so I recommend that. Not necessarily the AliExpress one. I haven't used those ones in particular. I think I've got an actual branded tough hook, which is what they're called. But Pegasus says one
I-
Tigress do a decent one.
Yeah. I know some people that, like, you walk into their house and they've got a full blown mannequin that they've picked up off of like eBay for like a $5, or they've walked past a shop that's been, and they literally, you walk in and you go, oh right, okay, so you've just got a man standing there with like fully kitted out in your gear.
Yeah. See, that's cool, but I would find it a pain having to then undress somebody every time I want to go and wear that. Sorry, Bob. I need to take this with me. I've got to get their arms out of it and stuff. Sorry, yeah, not you, Bob. Other Bob. I guess Manny the mannequin would probably be a better.
Manny the mannequin. Yeah. Let me see if I've got
storage boxes. So I highly recommend IKEA storage boxes. The only one I had to hand is full of patches, but these are very versatile. They come with lids. The newer ones that you can buy at the moment, the lids have like a little clip down system that attaches to the ends, kind of locks the box down. They have effectively recessed feet and things like that, so you can stack them quite easily, and it keeps them, relatively water resistant, not proof. Chuck a little desiccant bag in there, and then that will store quite a lot of different kit. You can obviously get different sizes as well.
One that is always worth keeping an eye out on is Screwfix. Screwfix do deals every now and again for plastic containers, and they're actually quite strong as well. Like I keep some of my tools in Screwfix boxes, and they work well. Like, they do work well.
I mean, you can go down the whole route of Pelly cases, Plano boxes. I mean, there's a whole load of different brands out there. Was it Yeti? Yeti do some quite nice looking crates and things like that. So, I mean, the other thing is that with the bigger boxes, and as soon as you start kind of looking at tough boxes and things like that, then they are just, the price does just massively escalate. And you can spend thousands if you really wanted to put in all of your kit into proper, nice, professional boxes. If you can find sort of cheaper secondhand Pelly cases and things like that. So, for example, Military Odyssey, kind of any of your kind of surplus shops or anything like that. Then yeah. Oh, dive shops. Marky Mark says dive shops will sell those types of hangers as well.
Yeah.
Which presumably quite good for.
Dive shops are good for boot hangers as well. So if you've got wet boots, you can hang them up. And they have like special hangers that go inside, and you stretch them out and they hold the boots. So if you don't want to leave them sitting on the floor.
Yeah, cool.
I'm just trying to think
if I've ever considered putting my boots on like a hanger or anything like that. I don't think I ever have. I generally just kind of put them in to one side. Funnily, I generally just chuck a desiccant pack. I've got desiccant packs for days, mate. I could just chuck them in everything. But I've got a couple that actually are like a plastic pouch, so you have to put them in the right way up, and then they actually collect water.
Oh right,
it's sort of quite a sizable volume of water that these things can collect. But I say if you just search these things on Amazon, there's a whole variety of stuff that you can pick up on.
You could be on there for days picking up water catching.
What are you looking up? I know you're busy looking something up at the moment.
I'm trying to find a picture of my plate carrier.
Ah, okay.
On the wall.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Well, keep looking.
I am listening as well.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If you are going to box things up, I personally would recommend trying to use transparent boxes where you can. Just makes it a lot easier to find stuff. If you have the ability to use labeling as well, they don't have to be like professional printed labels. You just get a bit of a sticker or something and just write on them with a Sharpie. That massively helps speed it up, because no doubt, depending on your organization system, there will be a time when you need something quickly, and there's nothing worse than going off that box. So I personally would recommend having clear plastic boxes with like a front general label on. So, for example, I have one that's tools, and kind of that's a kind of I know what that means to me. The box is clear plastic. I can pick that up and quickly look in it, and it means that
So
I can find that quite quickly.
The one for me is boxes that I use that I know that might have not damp. Well, yeah, like moist, like not where there's like you're putting it away and like you've let it out to dry and you put it away. Some materials sweat naturally. Leathers, if you put away, they can sweat if they've had a bit of moisture in and they take longer to dry. So on certain boxes, I always make sure that I've got ones that have got the breathable holes that you can open and close. So for certain things like my old battery box that I used to have, that had a breather. And you can buy breathers as well. So even if you wanted to pick up the cheap IKEA boxes, again, you can cut a little or drill a couple of holes in it, and things like that. I always find having a couple of breathable boxes is not going to hurt at the end of the day.
Sorry, Stephen Whitehead. The con with the plastic boxes is that your missus can see all the shit you've bought. There is a downside to that.
One on a raffle is what you should say. I've won a lot of raffles in my time.
Right, the last thing is personalizing your setup as well. So depending on how you play your loadout. So we've obviously talked in the last sort of few episodes about different loadouts, whether you're going to go down the route of like NATO or OP4 or anything like that. You might find that grouping some of your equipment into kind of different categories will help you organize your system. Yeah. So for example, if you've got, I don't know, a whole load of Rust 4 kit, it might be that you kind of want to keep all of that together in a Russian loadout box. If you wanted like a multicam kind of NATO setup, and then you might find that depending on how often you do it, you start accruing Rebel stuff. I have a couple boxes pretty much dedicated to the kind of the LARPing side of Milsim, which has got like loads of fake passports and various packs of documents and things like that that I make up over time, and then it might just be that you just randomly go, oh yeah, I want to do that for this weekend, so you can just sort of find odd bits and pieces. So it's always useful having that.
Yeah, I have a role play box basically that has things like that, like our ID cards, our DEA ones, like even stupid things like sheriff badges and police badges and things like that. It's handy to have everything like labeled as well. So I literally have a good guy and bad guy box. So I have all my police stuff in one, and then I have like all my like cartels and
gangster
and like the when I did a couple of events as Taliban. So I had like the one that confused me was, you know, the cards that they gave out. So I had a set of those, and I was like, oh, who do I put that with? Do I put that with NATO because they were giving them out, or do I put it with Taliban because they've been given it? I was like, I don't know what to do with this one.
Do you find that the roleplay boxes become almost like a box of nostalgia as opposed to a usable thing? Because I've sort of noticed that with any event that we roleplay at, it generally tends to be, oh, right, I've got to go and buy some new stuff to be this character. I mean, sometimes you get odd bits and pieces out that you can kind of adapt. But yeah, Carl says a rusty sheriff badge.
I've got a rusty sheriff badge. I have two.
Jekyll and Hyde boxes for Stephen. That's quite a good one. I like that. That's a nice way of looking at it. So yeah, that's kind of your boxes and organization. You might find that things like maps, glow sticks, comms, etc. Might be in sort of subdivisions again. So whether you want to have a full comms box, or you might find that depending on how much comms kit that you have, you might just put it in like a general go box. One bit of advice I've found to be quite useful is don't pack everything away. So I effectively have an airsoft box. I know it sounds like we're talking about an awful lot of boxes that you have to have, or sort of suggest that you might benefit from. But sort of like if you've got a pelly case or something like that, I find that just kind of having the bare bones basics in that box all the time means that I know from a matter of fact, if I go to an event, I've got in that box like a little box of spares, I've got a little bag of BBs, I've got a bit of gas and stuff like that. So you're not completely without anything.
It's basically an airsoft go bag.
Yeah,
I have exactly the same, but I purchased one of the Nuprol big wheelie boxes. So I know in there's always 2 boxes. There's 2 bottles of BBs, 2 gases, some heat pads, first aid kit. Everything is in that box, and literally every event, even if it's one that is a hardcore event where I've still got a pack of Bergen, that box always goes into the back of the motor for every event. And if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. But I know that in there's stuff that I will survive with. I've even got a clean pair of socks in there. I've got a little dry bag that's full of literally has spare socks, spare boxers, spare pair of gloves, which I change out literally probably every month, just so that it doesn't sit in the bag and get stale.
I've got a basher. I've just got a bog standard basher in my box. In that, you know, if you're at an event where all of a sudden it starts pissing it down, you know, oh yeah, I didn't bring one with me. No, I've got one in my box. You know, it's always there because it's the sort of thing that you might need, and it's very versatile to use for different things. So yeah, it's a great idea. Stephen Whitehead says, did you ever cover battery bags? Everyone should have them.
Yes. Although I don't have one anymore.
No, because I've got gas blowback.
No, but stupidly, I sold
both the master race.
No, stupidly, I went, oh, I don't need batteries anymore once I sold my TM. Right? Sold both my Titan batteries, and then went, oh yeah, I've still got an M249 PKM that rotate battery, don't I? So now I've got to buy another battery. But yes, everyone should. No, everyone should have a battery bag if you're running AG, just purely for the fact that they are a fire hazard. Like all you need is a little bit of damage that you don't notice on the cabling or on the housing. We've all seen videos of how quickly they go up. We've all taken.
Well, we had it at Rift, didn't we?
Yeah.
It didn't take much just to literally have just plugged in a battery which went through an adapter that was wired up wrong. Hadn't realised. Literally just connected the thing up, starts smoking. Like, oh shit, we'll take this apart. And because they're, you know, lithium ion, lower pose, anything like that, they are horrible to deal with. When they start swelling, you know, it's not a case if you can just lob them in the bin, because if you chuck them in the bin, you know, the poor bin man puts it in the machine, bin lid comes down, crushes it, the bin lorry catches fire and explodes. They are not the nicest thing to deal with. No,
and if you do find yourself with a damaged battery, let it vent, leave it outside. If you can, try and cover it in sand. People say throw it in water. Some lipos don't react well, especially the cheaper ones. If you throw them in water, you can actually increase is it velocity? Can't think
Ferocity of the fire.
Ferocity, that's the one. Of the burn, because they produce their own oxygen as well, so they can continue burning in water. The best thing to do is just get them out of the house or out of a flammable area. Cover them with sand, leave them as long as possible. And if you do have a damaged one, Unfortunately, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put it in your nice battery bag, and take it down to your local tip, because your local tip will
Tell
have.
them though.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Tell
So
them that's
literally
what
go
you're
in there.
disposing of. Don't just lob it.
No, don't lob it. Go in there and say, look, I've got a damaged battery. I need to get rid of it. Most tips now have a damaged bin for batteries and things like that. If it's not
Someone on
damaged,
fire in the corner.
yeah. But if it's not damaged as well, but you wanted to get rid of it and you've got no use for it anymore, you can't sell it because it's a bit old, or it's not holding charge like it used to. All vape shops have a bin, battery bin. Most Tesco's now have a battery bin. Actually, most major supermarkets will now have a battery bin. If not, quite a few airsoft shops.
I wouldn't put a lithium ion in there though.
No, they have. No, they have battery, like the R1, and the one at Huntingdon, the Tesco's at Huntingdon have like a big bin in front of you, and it says lipo, lithium ion.
Okay.
It has like a couple of, it has different ones, and then it has one for disposable vape pens. So the throwaway ones. They've got their own.
My apology. I thought you meant like the like the battery shaped bins that you just chuck like AAs in.
Oh no. A lot of them now are starting to like do that, because people keep throwing like the disposable vapes in the bin and things like that. But have a look. But most tips will have a lipo place now.
Harry says he knows a hot fireman. Lipos are the worst. You cannot extinguish them. You just have to let them burn themselves out.
Yeah. So basically, that's what's in Teslas and electric cars. Yes. It's just a lot of lipos, just bigger.
Yeah.
And that's why you see so many people as well with the scooters, because they're basically a big lipo, and they're using the wrong chargers. They're using the wrong voltage, and that's another thing as well. If you are using a like a big like a big battery or any sort of lipo battery, always make sure that you're using the correct charger for it. I highly recommend getting yourself a smart charger, and obviously making sure that that's kept in the box. But yeah, this your battery is probably, I would say, more dangerous than keeping pyro, because it doesn't take a lot to damage a lipo. If you dropped a pyro on the floor, the chances of it going off is none. If you dropped a lipo on the floor and it for some reason got damaged, that's it. That's that battery.
That's why I don't like sleeping with them. I know that people suggest like sleeping with your batteries in cold weather conditions, and like it terrifies me, the risk of being stuck in a tent or in a sleeping bag, or God forbid, even like one of the bivy bags that you zip yourself in like a coffin already. Because if that goes up, you've got no fucking chance in hell of getting out of that quick enough that you're not going to suffer quite severe burns. You'd be better off just having a knife in your sleeping bag with you, just to cut your way out if there's a fire. But then you're sleeping with a knife as well. It's a terrible situation. But yeah, basically, just got to be careful. Harry also says scooters were the most common cause of house fires in 2023, more so than cigarette-started fires, which is interesting. Right, I've got these photos up, Andy. Do you want to display your?
Hang on a sec. We'll show you. So we got one from Ash as well.
Oh man, I haven't got those loaded up.
It's all right. They're on. I've sent them to WhatsApp.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, cool. It's all on the same thing.
Yeah. So you can just about see that. That's my old setup, which weighed an absolute fucking ton. But as you can see, that's literally just a metal bar with some threaded ends, all like nice cast iron sort of style. Ash actually sent a really good picture of it without a helmet on it. There it is. And literally that cost me like the fittings cost like less than a £5. and the 4 bars, they're all cut to your length. I got them off eBay. They're about 20 quid.
Mm.
And it took like 2 minutes to put up.
They do look nice. I do like the kind of the robust, threaded pipe look.
And I mean, and that's got fixings in it that you break the resin into the wall. So I could probably hang off of that, and it ain't going nowhere. Like the brick would come out before that fell down.
Yeah. It's actually not designed as a plate carrier. It's actually designed as an exercise device.
Yeah,
that allows you to like chin ups and stuff like that.
But literally, that I can send people the cutting lists and the sizes and stuff. That's the room clean. You don't want to see it at the moment. But yeah, like how simple is that? And it just sits there, hangs nicely.
Do you find your stuff gets dusty leaving it out on the walls? Because this is why I'm always quite keen to kind of have things enclosed, because I just hate dusting. It's an absolute nightmare to dust.
That's why I'm married.
I would lose a lot of my kit if that was the case.
So then this was.
We also had this one because this was the 24-hour show, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. So my neighbours thought I was doing something probably extremely weird, building 3 crosses in the back garden. But as you can see, we set all of our plate carriers up. If you've missed that and you haven't seen the 24-hour episode, it's well worth a watch. We had
25 hours of footage to watch there.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'll tell you what, it takes a fair while to watch it. About 25 hours.
It took a fair while to do it.
Yeah. So as you can see, literally that's literally just one length of 4x2, which I cut the top off, and then the top that I cut off made the cross. And then at the bottom, I tied them all together so I didn't have to use that much wood. But yeah, they were done in a few minutes. And then I think Ash said that was his one Tigress setup.
Yeah. It is nice to have. Honestly, I look at that and I'm thinking, oh right, that's going to have to be dusted every once in a while. Like, I mean, I get obviously you can just take it off the wall and run around in it, and that'll probably do the dusting for you. But
I've got to admit, like the kit never really gets dusty.
Mm.
Like it gets vapey now and again, but like I haven't used. The only reason that got dusty because I haven't used it for 3-4 months. But normally I'm doing a game every month or so. So
yeah. But you see, that's the problem. I've got 3 or 4 sets of kit, and if I hung all my Osprey vests up, then I mean there are definitely Osprey vests that I haven't even taken out the packet from when they've been delivered. So yeah, don't be like me.
Yeah, don't be like Mike. Don't buy 1,000 Osprey vests. But even then, like for me, there's no difference from hanging that up than hanging that up. Like that picture frame, like that picture, that gets dusty.
Yeah.
So if I'm dusting that, it don't take 30 seconds to dust that as well. But that to me is more appealing than a picture frame. Like I look at that wall and I go, yeah, I own that.
Yeah,
that's mine.
That's why you need to shrink your
baby
put your riffs really far away.
Yeah.
So we're just quickly, just conscious of the time. We'll go through the comments in a second, but let's wrap through a few of kind of the more specific items. So we obviously mentioned.
I can't rap.
We mentioned the cooking gases. Cooking gas canisters. So one thing I did want to mention with that, I have a little small one that I keep actually in my MSR.
Do you?
I do. Like the little sort of micro gas canisters, the smallest ones that you can get. I can't remember the weight size of them or what their capacity is, but I have noticed that because I tend to kind of just keep that one in there. I don't always use that one because if I'm in a scenario where I've got the capability to use a bigger gas canister, I don't want to use up the little one basically because obviously the little ones you don't just have to bin them. You can refill them. We've obviously talked about the refilling devices that you can buy on Amazon and the like. But I'm always like, well, if I don't need to use a little one, I'll use the bigger one. But because that little one has been kind of constantly taken out, put back in, the cooking systems obviously get warm, they cool down, condensation has formed, and the actual little gas canister has started to slightly rust, sort of around the edges, which I'm very careful with my kit as much as I can be, and I've actually wrapped it in like a little rag in there anyway because I didn't want to scratch the inside of the pot. But I have taken that out now because obviously I don't want that rust to kind of affect any other little areas of that cooking setup. Because I mean, you spend money on your kit, you want to look after it, but just bear in mind to keep an eye on things like that because that will weaken the structure of that gas can. And then if you then put that in a scenario which is obviously particularly hot, particularly, prone to causing that to explode, then that's going to be a bigger problem. Yeah. So just bear that in mind. It's not always, it's not always the pure temperature that causes an issue with gas canisters and things. Hydration bladders, make sure they're clean when you put them away. The hoses, the mouthpieces, everything like that. Yeah. You can keep them in the freezer for a little bit. Depending on the setup you use, that will kill off a lot of bacteria. You can use, depending on the system, things like Milton tablets. Milton tablets, for those that don't know, are basically a powdered disinfectant that you mix with water that then kind of creates a liquid disinfectant, basically. So you can kind of just wash all your kit in it and it will kill off an awful lot of the baddies and things that are sitting in your kit.
I tend to use just really hot water, run it through the whole system, and then if you haven't watched it, watch our last hydration system video, and I went through how I've made a coat hanger, so it hangs up upside down, and it will drip dry, and that I've got a loop and everything for it, so everything can just air dry for a couple of days, and then I pack it away. And I don't pack it away sealed. So if there is any moisture in there, always leave it open. Especially the tube, because your tube's never fully dry. Not for a while, not if you're leaving them out for a couple of days. And I don't recommend leaving them over radiators, because the heat can rise up and affect the rubber and the plastic seals. And then 6 weeks later, you go to take a drink out of it, it's got all splits all over it. The best thing to do is just naturally air dry somewhere. Airing cupboards are quite good though, because they don't get too hot. I actually designed my airing cupboard so I could literally air dry stuff in there. So I've only got a couple of pipes going up there, but they're both the hot water pipes. So I know that when we've got hot water going, it's going to build up the temperature in there. And then I've got a little thermostat in there as well, so it doesn't get too hot. So it's little things like that. It's just taking your time to look after your kit. And if you're lucky enough to have some sort of DIY or building experience, you can quite easily make little areas to keep your kit quite safe and dry, or have a drying rack, which is my next project.
Fair. I do miss having an airing cupboard. We don't have an airing cupboard. It's a great place just to put things temporarily that are obviously a little bit wet. I mean, you can get the closed areas, the sort of electric ones, plug in. So we find that to be quite a helpful thing with just general washing, sort of day-to-day washing and stuff like that. But just take the time to just let stuff dry and just try and get the moisture out of it. The silica packets, it's such a little thing that you can just add to your kit. It's going to give you that little bit of protection. But it's even boil it right back to the basics as well. It's just storing your kit suitably. So, for example, don't leave a riff just leaning up against the wall in a room. Sorry, that's short term. You've only done that short term. But
that is short term.
The thing is, you know, I've had kit that's got damaged just because something has then slid down the wall and fallen and broken. You know, these are effectively toys, whilst they can be very expensive. You don't want them to get damaged as best you can. So things like padded cases and stuff like that, you can get things that are sort of decent cases with rust-proof zips and sort of various little pouches for desiccant and stuff like that. Just keep the moisture away from it as best as you can.
Yeah.
Then the only other thing I did just really want to mention is it's something we've covered before is keep on top of your maintenance. And I don't just mean for riffs on this. So, for example, I am notoriously bad at remembering to sew on a button onto my trousers, to the point of I have now gone to 3 events with the flag flying low.
You've still not done it?
No, I still haven't done it. The reason being I haven't done it from the latest one is not because I haven't. No, it's not because I've forgotten. It's because I've got a box of the buttons that I need somewhere.
That is actually a pretty good excuse. I'll let you off that one.
Yeah, I have like a box of miscellaneous kind of. Whenever I've had old school backpacks and stuff like that kind of you want to bin off, or you know, particularly ropey bits of gear that you're not going to be able to give to someone because it's just really bad. Like I've had trousers that have just ripped straight through the leg, for example. So just take all the buttons off. Anything useful like that, you can. I have actually got your button, Les, by the way. It's currently sitting on a shelf in the living room. So I have your button ready to go.
Ask for photo evidence. Get him to send you a photo, Les.
I'll send you a photo after the show. Yeah, so like any buttons and things like that. Even just taking, if you've got like a section of trousers, say you're going to bin off some old trousers and you've got a section of like decent fabric on there, cut that out, because you never know when you might need a bit of it. You can use it for scrim, you can use it for sort of patching. You know, there's an awful lot of things that you can kind of keep on top of, even if it's just little sewing stuff.
If something's ruined, there's still parts that you can always take off to put to one side. Like literally, but like from my old reenactment days, I've still got a box of World War II style buttons, Class A buttons, so you know, like the brass ones with like all the coat of arms and everything on there. All old bits of kit that I've taken off. I've cut the bottom of legs off because you could sew them up and make them into a little holder or something. And if something's damaged or not usable for its a certain reason, they're not always look for certain things. One thing that I do like that I've got a handful of is multicam black pockets. So you know the side pockets on trousers. I went through my multicam black stage, and you cut the side pockets out, and you've got a pouch there ready to go. Like it's done. It's already sewn together. It's got the Velcro lid. It's got everything. So if you're throwing away a pair of cargo trousers,
don't they? I thought the cargo trousers, the back pouch was, or the back of the pocket was basically the trouser material. Is it not?
Yeah. So you just cut round it.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Like, I've got about 4 or 5 of them. I've never used them, but I might use them one day. But there is a fine line here between keeping stuff that's up to a point for use and then hoarding. Yeah,
I know for facts that I sit very much on the hoarding side.
My side pocket hoarding. I've probably got to stop. Like, I've got multicam, I've got M81, I've got multicam black. I've even got some AR2 like that I don't even run anymore. And it's like, okay, probably should stop now, or at least start trying to use them.
Yeah. I still have 4 vehicle crewman Mark 6 helmets, because I at one point was like, I'm gonna buy a tank. Oh, I can't buy a tank. Start looking on eBay. Oh, you can buy the helmets for the tank. So I've got 4 helmets. There you go.
There you go.
Kenny Rebel says you can make silent BB bags. Exactly. That's the thing. You don't have to be super crafty, and I'm sure you will know somebody that can pick up a needle and thread. But simple things like replacing buttons and stuff like that, just get it done. Remember it. And what I generally tend to do as well, I don't know about you, Andy, I keep a kind of a to-do list for things that when I'm out and about, because I'm always at an event and I go, oh, fuck, I should have attached like a little bit of a cable tie there and make a note of it on my phone or something like that, so that I can remember to do it, because no doubt you'll come away from the game day, completely slips your mind. You then get your kit all back on, you go back out, you're like, oh, I still haven't got the cable tie on there. No, I haven't mounted that. Fixed that. I wanted a pouch there.
I should, but I don't, because I have all intention of making a list, and then I forget to make the list.
Yeah.
Or I do make the list and then forget that I've made the list and don't read it. So I've just given up now. I'll just be like this conversation now, because of the list, has reminded me that I need to go down to my plate carrier and take off and move the light that I have on there, because it shines in my eyes. But by the time I go downstairs, I would have forgotten. So
that's why and it's all good and well having it on your phone, but having a little paper list, honestly, just if you've got your box of stuff or whatever, leaving the paper list on in the top of the box, on top of the box, you know. So it's you're going to go, right, I'm going to get ready for this event. I know I've got this lined up. Events in a week time. What's on my list of things that is critical? Oh yeah, 2 buttons on my trousers. Yeah. I haven't done it, so just don't do as I say, not as I do. But
yes, yeah. that should be the motto of the NoFo channel.
Yeah, because the number of people at the last event were like, your trousers are undone. I was like, I know. I can't do anything about it.
At that point, I would have just cable tied them. I would have been like, right, that's it. It's just getting done now.
No, it's fine. I just need to sew some buttons on. I just got to find the buttons.
You've got to find the buttons.
Yeah. Right. One last thing, food. Storing your food. Do not, if you have pets, do not leave ration pack food or anything like that in easily accessible places. Do not leave them in your garage. If you do leave them in your garage, make sure they're in sort of rodent-proof boxes. My brother had a slight issue with some mice that got into his garage and chewed through an awful lot of his kit and a lot of his ration packs. I believe there was some ration packs. I know they went through his kit. So be careful of that. And if you're in outdoor environments, I know we obviously made a joke on the introduction about pesky squirrels getting into your food, but rats and mice aren't quite so fun, especially when they start sort of shitting in your kit and pissing in it and stuff as well. That's not nice, and you can get quite severely ill from that as well if you don't realise. Yeah. Imagine your snoods or whatever soaked in that because it's been laying in the bottom of your box. And some horrible little mouse has had a poo in there or something.
And like some of the boxes, they'll just chew through like it wasn't even there. Like if they want to get to something that's in that box, all my rations, like my ration bags, they're all kept in a metal 50 cal tin. Because I know that no fucker's getting in that. How was your mouse? Oh, you've moved. Did you bring the mouse with you? I would laugh my ass off if that mouse got into your kit.
Oh, the one that went into my my trousers.
I would laugh. If you unpack your kit and the mouse runs out, I will. Genuinely, that would be the happiest day of my life.
It's just been living off fortified protein powder for the last 6 months.
Just comes out.
Shit mouse.
Try to leave me, will you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to make you run up my trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that mouse in quite a while. Fortunately, we parted ways under good terms. But yeah, ration packs and things like that. Don't leave them next to radiators as well. Obviously, cool, dry place. Usually the best way of storing those. They're likely already out of date. Don't make it worse.
Yeah. And also, like as we learned from our 24-hour, always make sure the condition of them before. I know it's nice going to an event and you ripping open that bag, and you rummaging through all the stuff and see what you've got. But I personally, I would say open that bag before you go, because the last thing you want is to open that bag and your main meal for
Not
the
the
day.
pouched meals you're talking about. You're talking about the full pack.
Yeah. So you open up your main
Don't open
pack.
all your pouch meals and then
Yeah,
you're carrying all
because
this.
that doesn't work. But make sure that open that main bag. You can put everything back in it. I think the new ones are resealable as well, aren't they?
Mm.
So opening it doesn't make a blind bit of difference, but being out on the game site and opening the bag and going, oh, it's already split, or it's something's pursed, or it's got a bit of air into it, and you're like, well, I'm going hungry for today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then that also goes to the fact of, if you've eaten your meal and you've thrown it into your bag, remember it's in your bag. Because the last thing you want to do is go in there and go, oh yeah, I didn't really like that chicken curry. There's a shitload left in there.
So that's where the resealable bags, like, highly recommend getting. You can get the heavier duty, the better. And what I've actually finally started doing, you get all this packaging with stuff nowadays, and if you ever get like a resealable bag with some packaging, or I always kind of keep that to one side as well, because that's a perfect gash bag for. You need to check for the air holes, because they usually have air holes in case some kid puts it on their head, to obviously stop them from killing themselves. But by getting the ones that are just completely sealable, you can use that as a gash bag. You can keep everything in there. You can roll it up, and that way, if it does go rotten, or you forget about it, or you know it gets misplaced, it's gonna kind of contain that as best it can.
Yeah. It might swell up a bit, but
it might swell up, and obviously bear that in mind. But yeah, just have a decent gash bag. Don't just grab a rubble sack or anything like that. They're good if you've got a big group and you want to kind of keep everything in there. The resealable bags, if you can get some like pretty decent versions of those. I mean, you can even buy reusable ones as well. Like I think you can get like the sort of hiking equivalent of kind of reusable gash bags and stuff, like litter bags and things. So, right. I think that's pretty much the end of tonight's show, unless we've missed anything, Andy.
No, there's been a few comments that I think we should probably have a little look back over. But I think we've covered most things. It's just be sensible, really. Like, treat your airsoft kit how you would your day-to-day clothes. Like,
I really wonder where you're like your wife.
Yeah, no.
Or your husband, or
yeah. Yeah.
Treat your airsoft kit like your lover.
Yeah. Soft and sensual. No, like, genuinely, like, you wouldn't, well, some people might, but you wouldn't roll up a hoodie that you've worn for 2 days and shove it into the bottom of the bag and then put it in the back of your car. Like, you'd go home and go, right, well, I need to take my hoodie out. So just try and, everyone thinks, oh, it's military, it will last. No, it's probably the complete opposite. Yeah, it's just be sensible. And obviously, if you've got any questions or you're not sure how to deal with it, obviously our community has an absolute plethora of knowledge. Like we say it probably once,
and that's
every
not
month.
just us in terms of the WhatsApp groups, the website. We've got the forum.
Yeah.
On there as well.
Ask the question, because at the end of the day, there's no question is a stupid question. Right? At the end of the day, it's your kit, it's your health. We'd rather you ask the more experienced players or the more experienced, and we've got lots of veterans as well that listen to the show that have like really good tips and stuff for keeping kit clean. Just ask. And if you don't know, or you don't know who to ask us, and we can point you in the right direction if we don't know the answer. That's it, really.
Let's run through some of the comments. It was Paulus Wales' gas mag that exploded.
So big boom.
It was a plastic one, oddly, and only put it in the car boot 10 minutes earlier This was at Octo. It wasn't NAE. I know it
Yeah.
was somewhere we went because I remember taking the picture on your car, because it was white.
Oh yeah.
So I knew it was you and I together somewhere.
Yeah.
I think Pegasus was there as well because I think it was Pegasus.
Oh, I think it was the.
Yeah. Stephen Whitehead says picked up a load of industrial shelving off of Facebook Marketplace, dirt cheap. Just needed a clean and then painted it up with hammerite.
Nice.
Good win. The Scadis Ace, so that's the IKEA pegboard.
Oh yeah.
Produce Paul as well as 3D prints custom fittings for his, which is cool. I reckon you could get some quite intricate things there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's loads of STL files as well. So if you've got a 3D printer.
On this topic, I need some help from someone that does 3D printing. I have a project that involves sharp, pointy things that aren't sharp, pointy things, and allowing you to put sharp, pointy things onto riffs. So if someone could get in touch, I have the bare bones basics of a mock-up model of which I have bought some random bits, cut them together and stuck them together to make this thing. But I could do with some help. So if you are interested, then Paul as well. So I will give you a little chat.
Yeah. Have we used all our badger points?
So I'm using my badger coin, my badger tokens for another little project with the main man, Mr. Harry Badger. I'm hoping that once we get into the new year, we'll be looking to work up our telephone exchange that we've been talking about doing for our field telephone systems. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be absolutely cracking. Stephen says, we're lucky in the West Country. We've got a proper job. Apparently they did some really good cheap storage boxes with wheels. So Tage says, as someone that might have a bit more kit than normal people, hoarding kit is definitely a problem. See, I think we should embrace collections. Let's call them collections. Let's not call it hoarding. Hoarding is a negative connotation. These are collections.
I don't think hoarding is a negative term. I think hoarding is you embracing your inner klepto.
No, kleptomania, Andy, is stealing.
Well, you didn't say how to acquire said kit.
Well, I'm not suggesting you steal stuff, but I think hoarding is normally used to like when you've got gangs of people hoarding fuel or hoarding money, or like it's usually used as a negative term. Whereas I think we should embrace collections. I think people have a lot of interesting things, and if they are interesting to you, they will be interesting to somebody out there.
Yes.
Maybe it's a topic that we should bring up on like the forum group on the website or on Facebook or something. Like show us weird collections of stuff that you've got. Like little,
because that could go downhill really badly.
I'll tell you what. In the new year, once I've got my stuff, I'm going to see if I can get 52 weird bits of kit and weird things that I've got in my collection. And I will take pictures of them, and I'll post them once a week as a little separate thing, and we can.
Why 52? Why 52?
Because there's one a week.
Okay.
We could do a segment on the show. Mike's weird thing of the week.
Our weird thing of the week.
Yeah, weird thing of the week. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Harry says flexi filament for airsoft safe pointy things. Les knows a guy. I assume to help with 3D printing. Les, not just...
Les knows a guy. Well done, Les. Do you have friends?
And Harry's also looking forward to the field phone comms. Oh, it's going to be wicked. I can't wait to get that set up. So stop committing to things I can't deliver. Les is upset because I need to organise a patch that I just haven't had time to do. I'll get the patch sorted, Les. I'll get it sorted.
Les, how long did it take you to get a bloody t-shirt? And that took a while.
It just takes a while. And it's all gravy.
He's got to get his brain juices working.
Yeah. Right. Last comment we had, Harry said, are you doing another 24-hour show?
Well, yes, maybe sometime. Obviously, with
Yeah, I
Lance,
think
with Lance's news recently, it's something that we need to kind of sit down and discuss between the three of us. 'Cause I don't think doing another 24-hour without, to be honest, 24 hours from 3 people was pushing it. 24 hours with 2 people, I don't think my throat would survive. Like, genuinely, I think I would, like,
Andy might kill me.
I'd throttle him, especially if it right at the end and he turns around and goes, "Oh, by the way, let's do another hour." Like,
Let us not forget the time that you and I, Andy, spent in solitary confinement at that DEA event. What was it? Red Tide 4-3
oh yeah,
at
12.
HQ Airsoft. That was a long time.
Yeah, but see that
I had great fun.
yeah, I just want I agreed because I got promised that I could have a sleep, and then Mike goes, "No, you're not."
I got told I had to be a pain, so I was a pain. Les, I will look at your patch this weekend. I will get that sorted out. I promise. It's Fraser promise. I'll get that sorted out this weekend. Harry said, "Awesome achievement for charity, that boys." I think yeah. So 2025, we do want to do. Being blunt, we've I would say had a bit of a lackluster year this year ourselves. There's a few things that we've done. There's some things that we've tried to do that haven't pulled off, and it's kind of given us a bit of lack of motivation, I would say. Whereas I think 2025 is going to be our big push to try and get back to where we want to go.
And so I haven't really done much this year because obviously I'm still healing from what happened a year ago. It's taken a long time, so I haven't been out as much. Obviously, me and Mike have started up Superflow. Mike's moved house. Lance is snowed under with work. So this year, we are aware that we haven't been as active as previous years. But I think moving forward next year, there'll be some changes. There's some exciting news that I haven't told Mike yet, and I'm not going to tell you either. But there's just some exciting news that I have. But I'm going to tell him after the show.
Nice. Sorry, I was listening. Mark in the audience has sent me a absolutely wicked photo of his cupboard that I'm just going to bring up quickly.
Of his cupboard?
Yeah. That's something else.
That's code. That's code, boys and girls.
No, it's not code. Don't make it sordid and creepy.
What else am I meant to do? That is why I'm here.
Right,
that's the only reason I got invited onto the show.
This is Mark's boiler cupboard that he's turned into an armory. There we go. Look at that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Lighting. I'll tell you what, lighting in cupboards is a massively misunderstood and ignored thing. Like, I put some wardrobes in my daughter's room this last weekend, and I was like, oh, it looks a bit dim. So we put some lights, like the lights that you come on when you open the cupboard. Oh, it's mint now. Genuinely, I'm going to have them all out. All my cupboards in my house are going to light up when I open them. My power bill is going to go through the roof. So that's cool, Mark. I like that.
Yeah. Well done, Mark.
Good shout. Although there's a lot of cardboard boxes in there. They need to be clear plastic or mesh or something like that, so you can see them and clearly labelled. Because at the moment I can see what I believe to be, I don't know if that's Yodel or not, and then a lot of Amazon boxes.
Yeah, and those blaster BBs, just throw them in the bin.
Are they not any good?
Blaster BBs? No, they're awful. The coating comes off of them.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Sorry, when you said the coating come off, I was like, does the colour come off? I was like, what colour are they underneath? That was where my mind went. So, yeah. No, it's cool, Mark. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
Well done.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yes.
Next week, we're going to be doing a Q&A.
Are we?
Because, we are. Because I want to hear about how the first official opening day of Huntington Goes, the Blackstone CQB site.
Yep. And I'm
That
playing.
was a good
I'm
opportunity.
playing.
Yeah.
Playing.
A good opportunity
Playing
to
a
chat
game.
about that. If you have any questions in the meantime you want to throw at us, then please feel free to do so. You can get in touch with us on our email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is @November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and the website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. I want to give a little shout out. I know you've spoken to them, Andy. There was the chap that spoke to us on Instagram.
Oh yes.
From Denmark, was it?
From Denmark, yes. I've forgotten his name.
No, it's fine. I'll find it quickly. Thomas,
yes.
Call sign Samurai. So a little shout out to you. Thank you for your message. I apologise I didn't get through to you. I'm just really busy at the moment.
And he wouldn't have been able to answer anyway.
Would I not?
No.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
There's some things that only I know.
No, that's fine. That's why we have diverse knowledge on the show. So, there's
not a lot, but I know some things.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Mark says the random parts boxes of the Amazon ones and blasters are there for test cycling. So there you go. There's a green bottle.
Yeah.
I think I've got some of those somewhere. I mean, I've got lots of things everywhere, but I'll a lot of my BBs are rift now.
Anything that's like slightly high powered or is type bore barrel, from my personal experience, is that it leaves a lot of score marks on your barrel, and it just builds up over time. I haven't used blasters for a few years now, so things may have changed. But when you start noticing something, you think, no, I'm not gonna go back to that. But that's just from personal experience. And it's almost like the polishing comes off of them, in the barrel. Obviously, they're always going to strike the barrel, but proper polished BBs tend not to leave any marks. Whereas I always found that the blasters always did. But that's my personal experience from seeing the inside barrels that I've been using blasters on, and I just pass along my knowledge. But if you don't have any problems with them, fair play.
James Elcock says, I managed to get very lucky. I have an insulated storage lockup. Batteries are kept at home in a fireproof bag, along with glasses and bits I need in case I had to go on a skirmish.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very lucky. So there you go. Just wanted to make sure, because that was a comment that we've missed. So, right. On that note, Andy, do you want to have the closing words this week?
Oh, this week? Yeah. I'm going to say what Tony said last week. Support your local shops. Support your local airsoft sites. More I've seen recently of closed doors. So keep supporting your local sites. Keep and your event organisers, because they do it for us. Obviously they make a profit, but at the end of the day, if we don't go, then they're going to go, and we've got nowhere to play. So just keep supporting your local shops and local airsoft sites.
One of my favourite patches.
Really?
Just in case you don't know. Cool.
My dog's got that on his harness.
Yeah, it turns out these are really cheap on eBay when I found them. So I bought a whole load of dog patches. So, anyway, on that note, we have an absolute cracking week. We shall see you next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Get your questions in. Give us a shout on our own individual Instagrams of @9voltairsoft, @callsign_quartermaster, and @the_punished_1_. We can still obviously get the messages. Lance will forward them over. So, yeah, cool. Have a good week. Stay NoFo.
Stay NoFo. Ciao, Bella.
See you next week.
Speak to you soon.
Kamwatagarax.
Ah. Bye.
Bye.